Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will see that how can we make a simple project based on Titanic, in which we will see that how can we load the dataset of Titanic. After loading the dataset, we will see that how we can pre-process the dataset. That is, it means that how can we remove the unnecessary columns and rows, and how can we replace the missing values with the right ones. After that, we will see that how can we actually make our dataset in the form of EDA, which is exploratory data analysis, in which we see our data in the form of graphs. All these kind of things are going to be seen in this project. I hope we will clear our concept in this video. So first of all, we have to load the dataset by using Pandas, which we have already done in the previous videos. So first of all, we have to import Pandas as PD. After that, let's suppose any variable name. I am going to use data. What I am reading data file in the form of PD format. So I will write PD dot read CSV. What does PD means? PD is Pandas read CSV. CSV. Okay. Now we have to copy the path of our dataset. So I have downloaded it from Kaggle website. You can either download from Kaggle or any other website, or you can actually get from any source depending upon you. I have to just copy it, right click, and I will click the option which is copy as path. After that, I will come to my notebook and just paste it by using Control V. As you see that my dataset has been uploaded. Now if you are going to read this, you just have to apply R before the inverted commas, so it means that you are going to read your file. After that, print data. So it will print your data. And what data? Head. What does this head command do? This head commands actually print any 5 rows of your dataset, depending upon any 5 rows of first 5 rows of your dataset. If you put here 10, so it will print your 10 dataset. So I am just writing it here head, so it will just going to print my 5 rows, because there are so many rows. I think 891 rows are present, so it is difficult for me to print all those. So I am just going to print my only 5 rows. So I will write here like data dot head. Head means head is actually writing the printing the 5 dataset, 5 rows. Let's print our output. As you see that our 5 output has been printed as 0 from 4, as 0 to 4, starting from 0 0 1 2 3 4 is actually 5. So in this manner you can load your dataset. So our first task was to load the dataset, which we have done right now. Now the next task is to pre-process the dataset. So in order to pre-process the dataset, you have to first find, is there any kind of missing values are present. So how can we find missing values? We have discussed already in the previous video, but for this simplicity we are going to utilize here like this: print. So print data, which is the name of our variable. I want to check, is there any kind of missing values present in my this variable. It means that in this file which is stored in this variable, is there any kind of values are missing. So what command actually we use is data dot is null dot sum. So it will print that, is there any kind of missing values are present. If yes, then how many missing values are present. So it will print you like that. So just run it. As you see that in passenger ID there are no missing values, in survive there are no missing values, in passenger class there are no missing values, name there are no missing values, There are no missing values in sex and age. There are 177 missing values. So there are 177 missing values. If you proceed with the missing values, there are chances of your data of inaccuracy, or your data is incompetent. So in order to satisfy, you just have to replace the missing values with the writer ones, or if the value is not very important, so you can either um, remove the entire column depending upon you. But for the good analytics, you have to make sure that your missing values should be corrected by using the writer ones. So age is an important factor. So what I'm going to use, I am just writing data. The name of the column is age. So data age, I want to, what I want, I just basically want that every missing value present in my age column should be filled with the median of the age. So what should be the median, what would be the median present in the age should be replaced with the missing values. So in this manner our missing values query has been resolved. So what is the method to fill out the missing value is that first of all you have to write the name of the file. After that you have to write the name of column which actually contains missing value. After that you have to write command fill NA, fill missing value NA. After that again you have to just copy and paste like this, Control C, because you are going to fill this column in the data. This column should be filled with this column's median. So you have to write dot median, and again you have to write in place true, because you are going to access only those rows in which missing values are present. You don't want all your rows, you just want those rows where missing values are present. So it is very necessary to write in place true, in place equals to true. So this is the writer method of using your missing values to be filled with the writer ones. So this data contains age factor, and in the age you are going to fill this age, this whole thing with the median, and only those places are going to utilize where missing values are present. So this command is going to use. So in the simple words, you are basically using data, and in the data there are missing values which is going to be replaced with the median of this data, and only those rows where missing value is present. So I think you are very clear with it. So it's only a warning, so you just have to ignore it. There is nothing important here. It does not mean there is error. It is actually explaining that it is a warning. So in order to change the warning, you have to use another variable. But for the simplicity, I am not going to use it here right now. I am okay with it because it's a feature warning, and I am not going to use it in any other format or any other data set. So I am okay with it. I hope you are okay with it. There is no need to worry about. So that there is another column which is embark. Embark, this is the column where the classes are stored. So embark. Again, you are going to use embark dot fill NA, because there are also missing values in embark, two missing values which are going to be replaced. Data, again you have to just copy. I am using here mod, because mod is basically the most repeating value. So in the embark, the most repeating value either 1 or 0 depending upon the situation. So you just have to write mod. You can either use median also, but I'm not going to use median here because median is for the age. But mark is basically depend upon two variables, 0 or 1 or 2. So you just have to use mod because mod is basically the most repeating value. So the most repeating value is going to replace with the missing values. This is the right method of using. You should have to understand the data set first for this kind of things. And only those columns should be accessed like in data of age in place true. Only those columns are going to access where missing value is actually present. Again the same warning, no problem. Now, as you know that in the cabin there is no need of such column of cabin, so you can actually use median method or mod method, or you can just drop it because we are not going to use it further cabin. So if you don't want to take it for the longer, you just have to drop it. Like what command you are going to use for the dropping, just you have to write data dot drop, and in the drop which column is going to be dropped is columns. The name of the column is cabin, so you just have to write cabin. Comma in place true. Now let's see, is there any kind of more missing values are present by solving. As you know that we have already pre-processed the data. In the pre-processing we have actually replace the missing values with the writer ones, and we have dropped the column which we don't need. So for if I am going to check that is there missing value present further, my answer should be like no missing value should be present because we have already pre-processed the data. So in order to check this, you have to write print data, the same command we have actually done before. So we are just copying it and copying it here. Control C, Control C, and Control V. So as you know that there are no missing values for the present, we have already pre-processed the data. So for the good analytics, we have done all the tasks prior. So this is the method how you can actually pre-process the data. So 3 out of 2 problems have been done. 2 out of 3 problems have been done. Now the next should be our what displaying of result. So in order to display your result, we are going to I am going to use for the visualization the library which is Seaborn. You can either use so many libraries, but for simplicity I am just using Seaborn because it is more familiar and most easy one of the libraries which is very keen and very helpful for visualization of your data. So for the visualization I'm using my Seaborn library. So we have to just write import Seaborn as SNS. After that, SNS dot count plot. This is basically the syntax of using this kind. You just either copy it. You don't need to worry about it. On the x-axis, there are actually the column which contains sex, either male or female. After that, Q means actually you are depending upon the data either they survived or not survived. So survival or not non-survival is basically depend upon hue equals to survived. And in the data you are just using your whole data, so data equals to data. This is the method of using this library actually. So these are the parameters on the basis of this library stand, so you just have to know it. No need of using or learning it. You just have to first understand the syntax, and in the syntax you have to replace your parameters with the data set you are going to use. Now the last command is to show your results. So plot dot show. So this is actually the basic use of Seaborn library, and in this whole cell, what we are going to use, we are just seeing our result in the form of graphical method. So as you see that our whole result has been completed, and in the result we have two values. Okay, these are basically using for the import. You can use this both libraries simultaneously. Matplotlib library dot py dot s plt. This manner you can visualize your data as import Seaborn as SNS and import matplot library.pyplot.splt. Now as you see that my error has been resolved, it is just basically the rerunning of the cell. So nothing is more important than this. Now as you see that in this plot we can easily see that these are the number of males in which survivor ones are this, and in the female the women who does not survive is this, and the survival ones are that. So the ratio, what is the basic analytics of this whole program, is basically the number of survivals of women are more than the number of survival of men. But the fact is, there are so many men on on the crew, but the survival rate of women are very high. So